Wes is really awesome. He's really determined as a kid, and he's always been determined at everything he does.
He always has a smile on his face, no matter what he goes through.
He's always been my friend. He's just a great person to be around.
When he first moved here, everyone was like, wow, he's tall, because he's 6'5", but inside that tallness, inside that big body of his, he's got kindness and everything. He's just a great guy.
But Wes loves everybody. He cares for everybody.
He, foremost, is a blessing to his family.
The day I found out that Wesley got leukemia I was about ready to go on a trip with my church, and I wasn't really able to enjoy that trip very much because I kept thinking about him and wondering like if he really had it. It was kind of hard to believe.
Sometimes bad things happen and out of those blessings come, and this is one of those situations that certainly changed so many people.
It doesn't matter your age or if you're on staff or if you're a student. He has changed us.
What Wes is going through right now is far-reaching, and it's much more than what leukemia is. It's just a message out there of hope and inspiration and faith to everyone.
He has inspired us to be better.
He's concerned about other people. He goes through all this chemo stuff, and every time I talk to him on the phone, and every time he talks to anybody, he'll always ask the same question. He'll always say, well, how are you doing? And, you know, I mean, we're doing great compared to what he's going through, but yet he is so concerned about somebody else.
He goes about this with, well, what else would I do? You know, this wasn't a question about quitting. It was never on the minds of this family.
And I look up to him so much because of the faith that he's shown through this, and I know that God's going to bring him through it. And he's exactly right with what he said. You know, this is just part of the testimony journey, and he's going to have an incredible testimony when God brings him through all this.
I think from the first diagnosis, the first day, his family said, okay, now what are we going to do? So it was full-on push the second that they found out about it.
It's one thing to say you have faith. It's another thing to show it. And Wes has done that, and his whole family has done that. And that just, I'm in awe of how much faith they have, and the strength of Wes to make it through this, not just physically, but spiritually, is amazing.
He is not a self-consumed person. You know, I've so looked at him and thought, wow, he just goes on with life, and he goes on with caring about other people and doesn't become, oh, woe is me, everybody feels sorry for me, you know, the world needs to stop because of me. He'll still say, go do that, Mom, or go do that, Robin, or whatever. He doesn't really want the world in our life, family, to stop completely for him.
He is definitely unique in how he loves and cares for other people.
He says, you know, I can do this and I'll get through this, and he doesn't have fear. He gets frustrated sometimes, especially on days he doesn't feel good, you know, because he wants to be a normal kid and he just wants to do. And that can be frustrating for him on the days he doesn't feel good.
That gives us every reason to believe that whatever our obstacles are, we can do it. And it's just been nothing but positive here in the community.
After West Week, we received phone calls from people in the Indianapolis area because they had heard about it. Radio stations were picking up on it throughout the state, and we received donations. They would call or email to say, how can we send a donation? And these are people that don't even know who Wes is.
I went up to the office one day, and the girls said that the door had opened and shut, I don't know how many times, because random people from our community were wanting to donate. And there would be $100 checks and $100 bills. And that's far-reaching. We'll never know the lives that Wes and his family have touched.
It's one thing to say you have faith. It's another thing to show it. And Wes has done that, and his whole family has done that. And that just, I'm in awe of how much faith they have, and the strength of Wes to make it through this, not just physically, but spiritually, is amazing.
We've been very determined that we are going to make it through this, and we're going to make it through this an intact family.
I just admire what they've done for all of us.
Sometimes God's plans aren't ours, but God knows what's best. And you know, there's a reason that God's allowing him to go through it. And I honestly believe the biggest reason is so that God can use this family to show God's love to everybody else and show what real faith is about.
I think the bottom line is Wes is going to get better. And that is my sense of peace, that I know he's going to be better.